Welcome back, adventurers, once again to Let's Play ChäoS. In the last episode, Takumi, Kozue, and Senna all ended up in a rather hilarious group photo, much to Kozue's delight. But after Kozue had soon departed, Senna actually decided to tell Takumi of just how her gigolomaniac powers and D-sword manifested in the first place, and it was a very sobering tale. But of course, having heard that story, I think Kazumi can understand Kozue definitely a lot better. Although saying the same of Senna Aoi is probably a bit of a long stretch at this point. However, Takumi is, against all odds, returning to Suimei Academy. According to my minimum attendance shift chart, today wasn't a school-going day. I only had one goal in mind. Sorry. I only had one goal in going to school, all the same. Probably to visit Rimi. To see Rimi, of course. Surely my juvie classmates would taunt me about this and that today as well. That was tough enough, but when you weighed it against the possibility of being able to meet Rimi, I could still put up with it. Probably not if you knew the truth. I recalled yesterday's events as I passed through the school's gate. Senna had emphasized her warning as we parted.
お前が望むと望まないとにかかわらず、もしこれ以上踏み込んでくるようなら、負を正にするぐらいの強い意識を持つんだな。
For a moment there, you almost sounded like Ayase there, Senna.
中途半端な気持ちじゃ、妄想に食われるだけだぞ。
That last sentence was sage advice. Because I didn't want to get caught up in anything dangerous seeming, I hadn't asked her anything more. And that right there, coupled with that last warning, is probably why you weren't able to acquire your D-sword in the first place, if indeed the D-sword in question was at the O-front building that particular evening. In any case, I couldn't get my hands on a D-sword no matter how hard I tried. I'm no hero. I'm only a waste of space who can't even do a decent job of protecting his own little sister. Again, that is why, thinking that is why you don't have the D-sword. Except, there remained the possibility that Shogun might appear before me again. The real one or the fake one. And a bit of a hint for you, Takumi, it's more likely the real one will show up if Rimi shows up as well. Apparently he was targeting me as if we were playing a game, so the next quest might begin at his whim any time now. Unfortunately, Senna didn't explain to Takumi Nozomi's connection in all this. Probably would have been a good idea to do that. But of course, that gets filed under Takumi's list of dangerous seeming things as well as Shogun. That terrified me. Even my attempts to acquire a D-sword had originally been for the sake of protecting myself from Shogun. Swordless, how could I escape his evil grip? If Rimi were with me? But it bothered me that the Rimi was taking time off from school. What do I do if this time round Rimi were taken hostage the way Nanami had been? If you're wondering by Shogun, the answer to that is no. She's definitely not being taken hostage by Shogun. Although, that being said, who exactly took Nanami hostage to begin with? Was there anyone around who seemed likely to save me? The candidates would have to be those with these swords. Ayase was injured, so that took her out of the running. I didn't think Senna would help me. She has to a degree, but not by much. And Kozupi was a little, no, considerably weird, but the most likely one to help you. But in a regular situation, probably not. Face lowered, I entered my classroom. Before I got to my seat, I took one look around the room. First, Rimi's seat. Empty. Yeah, she's still at the hospital, not visiting Ayase. Was she absent today too? Was she really just skipping? Insecurity flickered through me. I wanted to meet with her. I wanted to see her cheerful face. Next, Cosby's seat. Seated, she faced down and shrunk into herself. Unfortunately, there is a no D-sword policy here at Suimei Academy, for very good reason. When I remembered the story Senna told me yesterday, it made sense that Kozupi always carried herself this way. Of course, in beliance to her calm and stoic demeanor, Kozuei is quite chipper inside. Good morning, Kozupi. Our eyes didn't meet, but we internally exchanged morning greetings. The delinquent girls watched me, grinning. It was the day after yesterday. I wouldn't yet be able to peel off the label of self-proclaimed psychic boy who's actually an otaku freak and made an idiot of himself on TV. Hopefully it will all go away, but that is a very tall hope. The male thugs appeared not to have arrived yet. They often skipped our first period class, which was convenient for me. I sat down. And where in all this is Daisuke Mizumi? And then that voice called my name. Well, surprise, surprise. Startled, I hastily raised my head. Rimi stood right before my eyes. She seemed faintly bashful as she gave me a little wave.
Rimi.
She wasn't an illusion. No, she is not, but Kozuei did mention that she is hiding something deep within her heart, and that something has to do with Shogun. Kozuei didn't say that last part, but we pretty much should be obvious if you've been following this thus far. She had a definite presence. She was breathing. Yes, indeed, Rimi Sakihata is real. Her hair stirred. She was blinking. She was there. She was here. Something burned in the depths of my nose. I was assaulted by a squeezing sensation in my chest. I was about to weep. Half standing in my chair, I went motionless, head hanging. I'm so glad I've been able to see her again. Don't worry, Rimi. This is joy, not sadness. I frantically shook my head. If the juvies nearby knew I'd cried here, they'd torment me again. I told myself I shouldn't cry, but the tears kept overflowing. Curiously, right on the dot there. No, you were right the first time. Rimi said in a bright, joking tone, and all I could do in response was to go on shaking my head desperately. Still more, I couldn't look at her face properly. If I did, I'd definitely start bawling. That was when someone tapped me on the back. A habitual action that we haven't had in a long while.
Oh, Taku.
It was Mizumi-kun, looking ill at ease. The hand he patted we met with was considerably more restrained than it used to be. Either because he's sympathetic towards how Takumi has felt, given everything that he's been put through, or he's still trying to carefully nurse his reputation with the other classmates. Even though he ignored me before, I wondered why he was being nice enough to talk to me again. Talking with me would definitely bring misfortune on him. He'd end up being the target of the class juvie's bullying. Right, it would be better for them if neither Rimi nor Mizumi-kun put up with a creepy otaku like me. He was saying the opposite not too long ago. You'd be right back in the situation you were, yeah. When I held my silence, Mizumi-kun put on a forced smile.
暗いな。朝から新規臭いぜ。
And there's the usual laid-back Daisuke Mizumi. At least Takumi should be grateful he's actually, well, never thought I'd ever say anything grateful about Daisuke, but he is actually going out of his way to actually be nice to Takumi.
ま、お前はそういうやつだって分かってるけどな。
Those words of his sounded harsh, but I didn't sense anything like sarcasm or hostility in them. If you ask how I knew, it was because he'd always said such things to me.
そういう大地は朝から無駄に爽やかだね。
And Rimi with a razor-sharp needle.
無駄にとか言うな。久々に学校来たと思ったらいきなりそれか。
じゃあ嘘くさい爽やかさ。
なたく、この言い草どう思うよ。
I nodded ambiguously. Somehow my tears had stopped. It's almost as if things have literally gone back to the way they were before. But if only we could believe that to be true. The usual scene lay before me. Neither of them had acted concerned by the fact that my position in our class was becoming something very bad.
そういえば、岸本のことを聞いたか。まだ入院中らしいぜ。怪我は大したことなかったんだけど、精神的にかなり参ってるらしい。いいか、タク。女を落とすのに一番手っ取り早いのは、弱ってる時に優しくしてやることだ。
And Daisuke going back to his usual tricks.
というわけで俺、本気で岸本の見舞いに行こうかなと思ってんだよね。
大地最低。ブーブー。今度こそ彼女さんに刺されるよ。
お見舞いに行くだけだろ。別にやましいことじゃねえよ。
He says with an absolutely straight poke. That is, you can't see my mouse, but yeah. That is a poker face if ever I've saw one.
ほんの数秒前と言ってることが違うし。
そういえばタクって、岸本と知り合いだったよな。な、一緒に行ってくんね。
Well, if she's conscious, we might learn a bit or two. Though it is a bit out of the way for Takumi to do that. It was a typical topic for Mizumi-kun, sure enough. But because I've been positive he would ask me about psychic powers, I accidentally skipped ahead there. Mizumi-kun kept chatting afterwards as well. It was the same as every time before now, with Mizumi-kun rattling on by himself, Rimi occasionally jumping in to poke fun at him, and me only grunting vaguely. But it being the same as before made me happy. Unfortunately, we're not staying long. Oh no. Standing at the windowsill of the presidential office located on the very top floor of the Nozomi Group's company's headquarters, Genishi Narose lit a cigarette. That is the third man. The man conspiring with the other two people at the very heart of the Nozomi Corporation against the Committee of 300, and the very man who has orchestrated the diabolical device known as Noah 2. The Nozomi Group. A large enterprise with numerous subsidiaries which carried out its business with ministerial authority from the government. Its subsidiaries had started up business in a variety of fields, from the sale of clothing and groceries to trading in the capacity of a distributor of imports, and they'd accomplished measurable achievements. Narose, who stood at the top of the group and reigned over it, gained down at the view he could see from his personal castle. His consciousness, however, was not turned towards the scenery. While wearing a mocking smile on his mouth, he tapped the floor irritatedly with his toes countless times.
まったく老人たちの相手は面倒ですよ。
So Genishi hates interacting with his so-called collaborators or co-conspirators. In other words, he's only using them for his own ends.
そう思いませんか?
Now, he's either talking to himself or there might actually be somebody else in the room with him.
彼らは臆病すぎる。だからこそここまでのし上がってきたとも言えるのでしょうが、利用するにもこうあれこれと横槍を入れられてはいい加減うんざりしてきますよ。
So Genishi is intending to betray his fellow companions.
現実は悲しいかな。300人委員会の影響力というものを侮ることはできません。
That indeed. After all, Rintaro Okabe in the Alpha World line understood that truth. Like when dealing with CERN and its hired rounders.
ただ、いずれ近いうちにそのシステムも崩壊する。世界の支配構造は組み替えられる。
It seems that Genishi Narose has very similar aims, not entirely unlike those of the insane mad scientist Hoin Kyoma. But whereas the latter is nothing more than Chunibi role-playing, the former is true utter lunacy.
楽しみですか? 私もですよ。
I wonder, is he actually talking to Noah too? As if it were a person and not a machine?
ここまで随分時間がかかってしまいました。
From a certain perspective, you could say that Genishi Narose is in fact the true new-gen criminal, although that is from a practical perspective, as in the mastermind behind it all. And yet, given his position as the head of the Nozomi group, it's doubtful that he would have carried it out by his own two hands. But he is the architect, make no mistake about it.
プロジェクトノア立ち上げからすでに5年余り
Way back in 2003, 2004, Rose walked up to his desk. The top of his solid-looking desk, carved from natural oak, had little of the decorative about it. It was burdened only with office-like items. A coldly pragmatic and practical individual, this Ganishi. Except there was one thing that gave off a different color from the others, and it had tumbled carelessly toward the edge. Rose picked up that green, bizarrely designed mascot character. He gave it a bored glance and tossed it in the basket. Why would Ganishi have a Gero Froggy in his office of all things?
さ
His narrow eyes swung towards the room's dim interior. The moonlight from the window didn't reach the depths of the room. A faint human presence could be found there. So he is speaking to someone.
まさか君がギガロマニアックスだとは思いもよりませんでしたどうやら神すらも私の味方をしてくれているようだ
And of course, Narose has a god complex, because of course he does.
君のサンプルを取らせてもらいますよ何怯える必要はありません私は元医師でしてねインフォームドコンセントはきちんとしなければ気が済まないたちなのですそもそもノア2のハードウェアはすでに完成していますあと必要なのはソフトウェアの方でしてね
In other words, he needs samples from the other Gigalomaniacs. Ayase, Senna, Kozue, and of course, Takumi.
そのために君たちギガロマニアックスのサンプルが多く必要なのです正確に言うならば NA シナプスに関するコードサンプル脳の働きに指令を出す役割を果たしている部位の行動サンプルですよコードサンプルには個人差があります持っている能力が高いギガロマニアックスは NA シナプスもより活性化し脳のより広い範囲にわたって効果を及ぼします人間の脳は全体の10分の1しか使われていませんしかしギガロマニアックスは違う残りの10分の9の部位も使っていることが分かっていますギガロマニアックスの頭の中というのは実に興味深いそのサンプルがノア2にとっていわば CPU の役割を果たすわけです
Almost like a much more macabre version of the Amadeus system. Whereas Amadeus is a purely digital construct artificially created from memories, Noah 2 requires actual living tissue and electrical synapses similar to Amadeus.
サンプルが多ければ多いほどノア2の能力は本物のギガロマニアックスに近づきやがて超えるでしょう納得してもらえましたか結構
Rose nodded in satisfaction and, blowing out smoke, returned his gaze to the scenery beyond the window. Viewed up close, Shibuya's nightscape was vulgarity itself, and brought Narose nothing but unpleasant feelings. I actually quite like the night skyline personally, but that's just me. You either like it or you don't. However, he usually thought to himself that he'd give passing marks to the view from somewhat separated places like this building. but then this nightscape would soon become one could never see again, as a result of the final experiment performed as Project Noah. Oh dear. Basically, Ganeshi Norose's endgame for Noah 2 isn't going to bode well for the city of Shibuya.
世界が生まれ変わる日も近い。
And I doubt it has anything to do with rewriting world lines, and there is the Gero Froggy in the trash bin. And we're back at Suimei Academy, which is where we're going to end this episode of Let's Play ChäoS. And when we return, it is afternoon for Takumi Nishijo. As always, adventurers, until next we meet.